What is the moon hoax?
We definitely didn't go to the moon.
Oh my God.
We definitely didn't go to the moon.
Matt, did we go to the moon?
We went to the
Definitely
moon.
not.
Stop
Multiple
it. We didn't go to
times.
the fucking moon, man.
You know that
We sent 3 assholes up there in a tin can. How the fuck did they get through the fucking the radiation belts?
Oh
the
my
Van Eisen radiation belts.
God,
There was nothing to protect them from the radiation.
Stop. You're not a scientist.
And then how did they tell it? They in real time broadcast fucking their signal and their video to every person in America on live TV in the 60s
it was. Yeah.
from the moon.
Oh my God. Are you telling me that there's thousands of scientists that know how they're done, but there's always one quack on YouTube that says some bullshit, and suddenly all these people are like,
Plenty.
I knew it.
Plenty of
The
scientists.
flag. There's no wind. The flag is moving. And how did they do?
Where's the stars?
Stop. Stop.
I've watched those
Stop.
documentaries.
Come on.
Have
I've
you
watched
seen
all of
pictures-
them.
Focus your
Yeah.
time on something else.
I've watched them.
That's
on
a great
what,
one.
Matt? What should we spend our time on?
I don't know.
We're
No, I
trying
ain't gonna lie. I'm not convinced.
It was political.
After I
man.
watched
It was political.
documentaries, I'm like,
What was
They
it-
make some good points.
What was it all? What was it about?
They were trying to beat the Russians. It was the Cold War.
But we
Space War.
didn't.
We were trying to beat the Russians to the moon, and we wanted it because America has to be first in everything, and that's what it was
But
at
we
that
weren't.
time.
We
We were
weren't.
just coming out of fucking World War II. It was fucking late. It was late 60s, and there was this whole everything's American, everything's made here in America, America #1. I mean, which we're living in the fucking zombie remnants of that now, which is all we're all whored and prostituted out to the fucking corporations.
Oh my
That's
God.
a different fucking story. But at that time, that was the climate.
What did you give him?
So we had to beat fucking.
Nothing.
I told you I ate all the goddamn medals before we got down
Oh
here.
my God.
We fucking. It was the space race, man. We had to be first. It was political.
But we weren't first. We didn't have the first satellite. We didn't put the first man
Sputnik.
into space.
the Russians were first.
They had the
Think
first.
about this though. We're
We
sending,
happened to land
It
on
was,
the moon
it was
first.
Sputnik 1.
We're sending fucking regular citizens. We're sending Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson are flying into space for
20
fun.
years from now, he'll be telling you that never happened.
But we haven't gone to the moon since we've gone to the moon the first time, right? Didn't we only go once?
They said we lost the
no,
technology.
we didn't. We didn't.
They said
go.
They said that
Why
we.
haven't we been
Who
back
said
since?
that?
NASA.
Who said that?
NASA.
Chris?
NASA said that
did.
NASA themselves said that we no longer have the technology to get to the moon. It was lost. All of those programs, the Apollo program. I'm telling you right now,
Pull it up.
give it a goog.
Pull it up.
Gosh dang
Google
crap.
it, Austin.
Tell me where you have someone, an current employee of NASA, that said we couldn't go to the moon right now.
We don't have the technology.
I think private.
Yeah, click
I
that
think
one,
that
Austin.
private industry could get us
Because
to the moon.
listen,
back
the
right
rockets
now.
that we used to take, I mean, if they put it together, and made a plan, but we don't currently have one. Like there's
Well,
no game
you
plan.
have to have a plan.
There's no game plan. Like the technology that took us to the moon, the lunar module, and the fucking.
Well, no, they can't go jump in a ship
lander
and fly there right now. No,
the
they're going to
Apollo
have to put
rockets.
something together.
Right.
Austin, click the one that said, why did we lose the ability to go to the moon?
That's like me saying that I can't currently I can't currently
True.
fly. No, you're right.
Oh,
I don't
wait,
have
wait.
a jet in the parking lot.
What's
I'm
up,
going to
son?
have to go get
Hold
somebody.
on. Read this. Matt, will you read this in your nice voice?
No.
Come on, go ahead, read it.
No, I'm not going to read
That's
it.
gonna
You
have to
read
get it to read it to us.
Yeah.
Why did we lose the ability to go to the moon? This answer is true. There were 2 accidents, a fire on the launch pad of Apollo 1 that took the lives of 3 astronauts, and an exploding oxygen tank on Apollo 13 that crippled the mission. But those astronauts were able to return safely to Earth thanks to even more team. That's not why we
It's
lost
not
it.
really an answer to the
That's
question.
not an
It has
answer.
nothing to do with it.
Right.
But why haven't we gone? Why don't you think we've gone to the moon since then? What year did we go to the moon? 50 years ago?
69.
Why the fuck? Why
they
haven't we gone
landed?
since?
But they landed in '69. But they've been.
So okay, so you gotta think about
After
NASA
that.
as like you have to think about NASA as like just another branch of the government because that's essentially what they are. So when it comes down, so they have all these programs put into place that have upkeep. You know what I mean, like the rockets and all of the programs and that all the systems that are used for launch and all of the supporting systems and all of that shit. These are all programs that they have in NASA. And once one of those programs are retired, and they don't have a replacement program for that fucking that goal, then they just no longer have the technology. Because the rockets that we used to get to the moon in '69 were like Apollo rockets. They don't fucking use those rockets anymore. That technology, they don't even have it.
What was the
They're-
technology?
Even the rocket boosters themselves.
They don't have the equipment.
Even like to upkeep the fucking.
It's not the technology. You still know the technology.
Doesn't Elon buy his rockets from Russia?
But it's a completely different system. Like they're using. He's got his own engineers and shit working on like the rocket boosters and the way the fuel deliveries and everything like that.
Thing.
They can't just go dig an Apollo rocket up and wheel it to the fucking launching pad and put it into the air. Like the systems used to even launch those rockets don't even exist anymore because NASA's always putting new things into play, and you've got the advent of everything was analog back then in '69. Nothing was digital. Everything was done analog through fucking switches and relays. We don't use switches and relays anymore. Everything's fucking digital through Wi-Fi. So you got to think about it. So now, if they haven't sat down and be like, okay, we need a plan to go to the moon, then they just don't have a fucking plan to get there. It's not like hopping into your Ferrari or your car and driving to Publix.
Do you think that if they sat down over the weekend, they could come up with a plan? I mean, yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then it'd take them 6 months to a year to put maybe 2 years to build the rockets, to put it together. But could we go to the moon in 2 years from right now if the United States government wanted to?
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm going to say yes.
Absolutely.
So I feel
we have been going.
That was
to
a
the
180.
moon. Or
a lot of people say 160. 160 is not true. That's a 180. That's a complete turnaround.
360. Matt.
360, sorry, 360. A lot of people say 360, but that's not true. It's a 180. So now you're saying we can go. You're just saying that right now they don't have the equipment or a plan to go. Right. No, of course not. You don't keep that around because we don't need to go every 6 months. But they could go. They wanted to go to the
Also, there's really no point of putting human beings on the moon when they can just send these drones up there to fucking rover.
Well, they've checked it out. There's listen, it's dead. It's a rock.
Well, see, their plan was
the
moon base.
Or what if
it's hollow?
And
that's where all the Nazis went.
It's a Dyson sphere.
And they're living. It's a Dyson sphere, exactly. They're living inside of a Dyson sphere, which is the moon.
We just went and seen a movie. I just went and seen a movie at the theater where that was the premise.
Doesn't matter. They're living inside.
That the moon was actually a fucking alien spaceship, and it was fucking. It's been there since like the beginning of time. Like this is just a recent movie that was just out actually. Moonfall. Yeah, it was called Moonfall. Because there was some like amateur astronomist that figured out the moon and kept getting closer and closer to the Earth.
What is the official narrative on how the moon got there? Isn't it?
Yes.
Didn't we get hit by a giant? There's
two theories.
Okay. What are
so
the two
there's
what is like the accepted theory?
I think the mainstream archaeological theory is that
what's the non-conspiracy theory that Matt Cox would accept?
Well, there's neither one of these are conspiracies. This is both mainstream mainstream science.
Okay.
One was when the Earth was in its early forming stages. I believe it was either a comet or an asteroid came and knocked off, either split it in half or knocked off a very large chunk of it. And because of the way the rotation of the Earth happens, they were spinning. They both created two bodies, one being a satellite of the Earth and one being Earth itself. Now, that's one theory. The second theory is that the moon is just a collection of debris left over from when the Earth was forming, not formed by like a giant cataclysm, with something actually hitting the Earth. And there's actually evidence for both because a lot of the dust and shit that they find on the moon is created from, space dust and like other rocks that and other elements that aren't found here on Earth.
I heard of the theory that there was like another Earth, like an Earth 2 that collided with this Earth and then created.
Well, that's part of his theory. Is basically they're saying the formation was that when all of these different bodies were slamming into each other, that there were two bodies that slammed, and as they slung around, one became. As they're rotating, one became the Earth and one was the moon. It was just kept in its gravitational field, and it kept rotating. That was it.
And then the moon became a satellite. And they say that without the moon, life on Earth wouldn't be possible.
Right.
We wouldn't
gravitation.
It creates
maybe vastly different.
The moon is tidal locked, so the rotation of the moon, the rotation of the Earth is intrinsically synced with the rotation of the moon, and then it was tidal locked, so it controls the tides on
tidal
Earth.
Lock.
It controls
a good pun.
That's a good one. So like I said, the moon, we wouldn't be here if